What's happening, YouTube? Now, here to the show, Toddlers and Tiaras. This is my fourth one. Already down my third one. Basically, it's this reality show where stuck-up, bitchy moms make their kids go through a pound of makeup, their daughters, and they can go in beauty pageants and shit. It's pretty fucked up, you know? I just think, wow, at a young age, you're teaching your little girl that looks for everything. Oh my god, do you know how many problems it leads to? Anorexia, self-confidence, oh my... You know, and people wonder why our kids are so fucked up. Well, have you looked at the parents when they raise their kids? You know, Toddlers and Tiaras, you know, these moms who couldn't make it at that age as a beauty pageant because their moms are like that, are trying to now force the same stupid shit on their kids. They know how it feels, yet they're doing it to their kids. It's kind of hypocritical, you know? And I don't blame the kids for throwing fits, you know? They got a pound of makeup on, and a stuffy hot dress in front of a bunch of stuck-up asshole judges judging them on their looks. They're 5 fucking years old. What happened to letting kids be kids, coloring outside the lines? Yeah, it's our society's attitude towards raising kids these days, where they're expected to be perfect, you know? If they're not perfect, they get pissed off. Well, I got a newsflash for parents of America. No kid's perfect. The best you can do is try to raise them right and hope they turn out okay in society. If they don't, you know, whatever they may do in their life, try to support them and be there for them. That's all you can do. And raise them right, you know? You know, some parents are like that. They just, you know, well, my kid's in ballet, you know, some dads, you know, I know how it goes, right? It's like some racist, rough-head, redneck dads just like, well, my son's a ballet dancer, he's such a fag, I fucking hate him, you know. I'm like, dude, that's your son, okay? You can't just support him whatever the fuck he wants to do. You know, situations like that just kind of amuse the fuck out of me. It's like, you know, wonder people hate their kids, hate their parents so much, man. I mean, that's kind of horseshit. Like, dude, seriously? Ugh. Like, oh my god, really? Really? The problem with school shootings, though, they're very tragic, but they're 100% avoidable. Like, if your kid's being picked on in school, try to do something about it. I know it's bullshit. The schools say, we have a zero-tolerance policy for harassment, yet they allow it to happen because they got a stack of homework this fucking big. Some kid comes in, teacher, so-and-so won't quit picking on me, I'll deal with it later, because they got homework. They don't have time to deal with this petty bullshit over here, which is unfortunate. And then the kid's parents fight at home, on top of hitting puberty and peer pressure. It's going to fuck with the kid's emotional cycle, because when they're hitting that stage of awkwardness, you know, it's tough enough as it is. So the parents are off fighting, and then the kid goes, Mommy, can I have Grand Theft Auto for the Xbox? They don't see it as a problem. The kid's 13, sure, why not? Now, I'm all for kids letting their anger off on a video game as long as it stays in the video game. The kids that go off and shoot up the schools cannot tell the difference between reality and fantasy, so they take what's in the game and make it real life. And then, of course, they shoot up the school, and the mass media is all on the parents like, so Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so, how do you feel about your kids shooting up the school? And they're going, oh my god, we're such idiots, the red flags, idiots, they're, you know, that's what they're thinking. They panic, and they go, well, we like to blame the games and the mass media guns for our son's problems. And right there and then, the media should go, okay, they're not taking responsibility for their own actions for raising a monster by blaming us and the guns and shit. Okay, that's kind of weird, but no, the mass media eats it up like dogs in a feeding hole. Yeah, we're gonna, you know, the makers of the games are going, ugh. Now, I'm all, you know, that's a great way to relieve stress. Take your anger out on a violent video game. That's a great way to relieve. It's like a mental punching bag, you know. But when a kid cannot distinguish reality from fantasy, meaning that the shit stays in the game and not in real life, then he shouldn't be playing games like that. Any game where you can do things you can't do in real life, like fly, for instance, you know. And I was playing games like that at 13 anyway, and I knew better than to do that in real life because I'm smart like that. So, you can't really blame the mass media for your own fucking mistakes, you know what I'm saying? And communication helps. I mean, if your son or daughter looks like they're having a bad day, look and say, what's the matter? Just that simple, what's the matter? Asking what's wrong. They say nothing. Try to talk, oh, it's nothing, you know. That little bit of caring could help. And your son or daughter, when your son or daughter starts showing red flags and shit like that, you have to, you know, be as a concerned parent, you have to think, what's wrong with them? Try to talk shit out with them, you know. Because red flags are like a timer in their mental state of an elephant going, this kid's about to do something sadistic, watch out. Now here's the thing. I had plenty of red flags growing up. I never actually went and did it because I knew better. You know, I was just a pissed off individual. What can I say? But when your kids got problems like that, making the effort to show that you care at least helps stabilize them somewhat, you know? And I've been there and done that, you know? Kids pick on me and shit, and the school claims no harassment, yet they do nothing about it. And here's another thing, a rule they don't enforce. When I go to the school assemblies every year for the junior high and high school and whatnot, they have this, you know, spokesman for anti-bullying and shit. It's all just a waste of fucking money because no one actually gave two shits to stop it, you know? Like, you have a right to be harassment-free, yet every kid's harassed every fucking day because they don't give a shit. They care more about the fucking work than they do about the kids. Also, no cleavage. Well, you know, girls aren't showing off their cleavage, or girls who don't have boobs. It's a mean truth, but it's the fact. They really don't enforce that very often. I would like to be the male principal in that situation. Miss so-and-so, you have to cover up your shirt because guys are trying hard to learn. And then they go home, Mommy, the principal sexually harassed me, and then, you know, all that happens, you know, lawsuits and shit, and it's just, ugh. But here's the thing, you don't want, you know, as a guy, it's hard enough to concentrate as it is, but then you see some hot girl dressed all floozy and shit, and you're trying to do math, it's like, what's algebra? Who cares? I say boobs, you know? And then the girls go off and get pissed off at the guy for looking. Well, here's the thing, you don't want guys looking, then cover up. It's a simple situation. You know? And 9 times out of 10, it's the parents who create the kids, you know? That 1% chance of the kids actually are born like that. You know, I've seen it happen where the kids grow up in a perfect life. Somewhere down the line, they just snap for no apparent reason, you know? Some kids just, I don't know what it is about kids that just snap, you know? It's bizarre, you know? Hard to say, really. It's not always is it the kids that get created by monsters, or the parents, you know, that create the monsters. You know, sometimes it's the kids themselves, you know? But in this modern day and age, when your kids act up in Walmart, just, you know, you don't want to spank them in, you know, slap them until the, you stop, I mean, you know, because, you know, I know how that goes, right? Your kids screaming their brains, I want a candy bar, I want a fucking candy, you know, and you're thinking, I should have wore a condom, and everyone's watching your kid throw a hissy fit, and they go, oh, there goes another parent trying to deal with a screaming, spoiled brat in Walmart and shit, and then, you know, do you smack them? And no, fuck that. You just, I told you to shut the hell up. You will not be getting candy bar because you do not listen. And no one wants to do that in this modern day and age because you know, it's kind of like sexual harassment in this regards. People have no idea what sexual harassment is, but sexual harassment is just looking at a girl. It's the same principle with abuse and being a good parent. You know, discipline. You know, the older generation knows how to behave because their parents actually use the belt. Well, now it's like, you're not going to use the belt, that's just abuse. Well, some kids need a good ass kicking because they have no idea how the fuck the world works. You beat some sense into them, maybe they'll actually behave. I'm so sorry, Mom. You know, and we all have that, you know. We have the fun parent and the strict parent, you know. And I know how that goes, kids. The fun parent, you know, you'll get away with shit, but the stricter parents, it's like, you know. This actually happened to a friend of my parents. You know, their kid was acting up and shit, and I just smacked him, and this big black woman comes out, and he thought he was going to get his ass chewed up, but she high-fived him and said, way to go, it's hard to do that in this kind of society, because you know how that goes, right? Your kid's acting up. This actually happened to me when I was people seeing my sister Sammy. My mom took her to Walmart over this way, and the Burger King was down here, so my sister Sammy was playing in the play area. My sister Sammy was being a brat and a half, man. She was just, ugh. I'm her big brother. I'm supposed to be watching, and she's acting up in front of everybody. I'm just sitting there going, I'm still not having kids when I get older. I'm still, you know. So, of course, I kept my cool, and people were staring at me like, you know, poor guy. And again, I think that's unfair that kids take advantage of that. They know, somehow they're born instinctively knowing that they can embarrass their parents and their older siblings when they're being watched in a public place by acting up, because then people stare and you're just embarrassed. You're like, you know. So how do you deal with that shit? Don't be afraid to smack them. Just, I told you to behave, goddammit, you know. You know, it's tough in that kind of situation when you have people watching you and you're embarrassed going, oh my god, you know. Fuck what they think. That's not their kid, you know what I'm saying? Straight up, you know. They're like, I saw some kid get smacked in Walmart today. It was so, oh my god, you know. Okay, do you have kids? If they don't, then shut the fuck up, because you know what it's like, you know what I'm saying? So the best thing to do when you first get a kid is don't introduce them to candy or toys, or don't spoil them rotten, you know, just, you know. As soon as your kid knows what candy tastes like, they're gonna want it. They're gonna become little sugar junkies. You know what I'm saying? Make it a special occasion type thing. And that's kind of unfair that kids do that to the parents. I know how it goes, right? You're in the Walmart shopping. Have a candy bar? No. We'll see. No. But I want a candy bar. And they just start throwing a little hissy fit. I said no. Deal with it. But I said no. If you act up, we're going to the car right now, and you're not getting anything. And just start crying their eyes over nothing. And then it happens. Everyone's all watching, and they go, spoiled, rotten little brat. And the looks like parents give you when your kid's acting up in the store, you're just like, you're embarrassed, okay? Then what do? You continue to tell them, you do the count to three. I'm going to count to three. If you won't stop, I'm going to give you a spanking. 1, 2, okay, I'll stop. 2 minutes later, and you're thinking, oh, so being a parent is tough, I've seen it happen many times in stores and shit. But to have the courage to stand up to your kid and actually do some disciplining in public, it's hard in this modern day and age because people are now so bullshitty and busy about, there's a fine line between sexual harassment and just checking a girl out. It's just like there's a fine line between discipline and domestic abuse, Our society makes things way too complicated, more complicated than it needs to be. So, how to deal with bratty-ass kids when they're being like that in stores is really up to you, And don't expect your kids to be perfect. That's only going to make things worse. Just try to give them a good home, a place to eat, a shelter, and raise them right, and hope they turn out okay. That's all you can hope for, right? Because it's tough in this world. It's sucky. There's a lot of ups and downs and shit. That's life. So raising a kid in this world is going to suck. But if you can raise them right, just hope to God they turn out okay. That's all you can hope for, right? What's the worst they can do, Just try to love them no matter what they do, That's going to be tough because there are going to be times your kid's going to piss you off to the point you just want to strangle them, But that's just being a parent, so it's all about. When your kid's not there and you don't know where the fuck they're at, you panic, Or what if they get hit by a car? What if this, and that happens, So, if you do have kids and they're like acting like that at Walmart or whatever, it's your call. I'm not telling you how to raise your kids or anything. I'm just saying it's your call. I know it's embarrassing. I've experienced it with my sister Sammy while watching her in Burger King. It's your call when they're acting up like that. The people give you looks like, which it's like, what? Fuck you, all right? That's the look like I give them, like, what? Fuck you. You don't have kids. Why the fuck you look at me like I'm just a bad parent? It's just give them what they want. It's like, shut up. Don't do that. Okay, that teaches them nothing of any moral value in society. It teaches them they can get whatever the fuck they want just by throwing a hissy fit. That does not raise them right at all. Again, I'm trying to teach you how to raise your kids, but I'm just thinking that maybe our society needs to learn some things of it, Seriously, When you're in a store and your kid starts acting up and people give you looks, and it's like, do they have kids with them? No, fuck you, alright? They don't know how it is. Straight up. And if you didn't want your kid to act like that, maybe you should have wore a condom. Think about that before you have sex without a condom. That if you want a condom, maybe or she should put a condom, because they make condoms for girls now, okay? Or birth control. Make an effort not to have kids if you don't want to deal with that shit. That's just a small, minor detail to having a responsibility of dealing with kids and shit. Just think about that for a second, okay? So do parents create monsters, or does society create monsters? A little bit of both, I think, depending on the situation and whatnot. Guitar playing. It's embarrassing as shit when your kid's acting up in Walmart and whatnot. But what do? Do you smack them or do you do the count to three shit, Your call. But, all you can do is hope you raise them right enough to know right from wrong and hope they turn out and do okay in society, Give them a roof over their head, shelter, food, and clothing. Just hope for the best, Because this world does suck on times. Life, that, Just... One more guitar player, check out my channel and see what you think of this. Is Gothic King with you in the video. Thanks for watching.